Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope you've had a great festive season. I am delighted to be joined by my good friend Aaron Sato, who is Chief Scientific Officer for Twist Biopharma, which is part of Twist Bioscience. And today we're actually going to be looking back at 2020 and looking at some of the positives and learnings we can take out of last year, and also look ahead to this year now and see what some of the trends may be. So, Aaron, Happy New Year, my friend. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Lovely to see you. Well, I'm very good, thank you. And good to see the sun shining in
hmm
San Fran. It is San Francisco where you are, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Well, it's now dark
Yeah.
and gloomy here in Surrey, but at least we've got the sunshine coming from your room anyway. So that's a good start. So before we start talking about last year and your thoughts on that, perhaps you can tell people who are not familiar a little bit about Twist Biopharma and also your role within it.
Great. So thank you so much. So Twist Biopharma, we're a division of Twist Bioscience. We're focused on using Twist DNA platform for creating our own antibody phage display libraries for helping folks discover antibodies against all kinds of different targets. It's an amazing platform that allows us to make very high quality libraries with high diversity so that we can find, functional leads to really tough targets. And then we also have a whole platform for antibody optimization where we can basically take in a lead and make a library around it and optimize it and improve its potency and developability. So we see ourselves as a kind of early stage discovery and optimization group within Twist to help folks in the biologic space discover and optimize antibodies.
Brilliant. Okay. So let's look at 2020. Very, very difficult year for so many people. But like all things like this, when it's a difficult year, there's lots of things that people can learn. And hopefully there's some positives that people can take out of it. So from your point of view, if you look back at 2020, how would you describe that, the year maybe in one word?
I would use the word collaboration. I think what I found is the scientific community was always a pretty collaborative field, but I think what I found through the need to address the pandemic, a lot of people kind of broke down the walls a little bit more,
Yeah.
and people came together to work towards combating the virus, and a lot of great science came out of it. And so I think it's particularly in the infectious disease space. So I think the level of collaboration went way up. And so if we ever have another thing like this happen again in the future, I think we'll be ready to address it really much, much faster and be prepared for it in a much more thorough way. So I like the word collaboration.
Great. Okay. And you mentioned a little bit of positives there already, but if we look back at 2020, what would you say the main positives you would take out of it from a personal point of view, professionally, and also from an industry point of view as well? So three different questions there, but personal, professional, and industry wise.
Well, me myself, I learned to kind of how to work in different ways. I learned how to work at home and through other mediums rather than just in person, and not have to travel as much. So I think there were some good positives from that, and I got spent a lot more time at home and learn how to work effectively in my home office. So that's been good. And then also in terms of the team and the company that I'm in, I think, we became tighter as a group because of the need to address all the different projects we were doing. And I had to find ways to interact with them, not just in person, but also digitally. That was a real learning for me, but now we can do that. So I believe now as a result of that, we're tighter as a team. We're strong as a group. We can address and do all the projects that we did, and now we're even more connected than we used to be. And so I think, go ahead.
No, I was saying, and that's great. And what do you think from an industry point of view? I mean, you mentioned collaboration as obviously your key word there. So do you think that was the biggest positive coming out from an industry perspective, or do you think there's other things as well that have come out of it?
Yeah, no, I think as a result of that, I think there's all these mediums now for almost instant collaboration and discussion, and like virtual conferences, and even things like this where we're talking together over Zoom and kind of getting the word out. So I think all those things existed but they weren't like front and center. And now because of the need to not be like in the same place, it's allowed these, a lot of these other ways to communicate to come out, and to allows us to different ways for us to collaborate. So I think that's all been fantastic. And I feel like even more in touch with other people in other places of the world than I ever did before. So I think that's a good take home from COVID, is that I feel more in touch with the world now. Yeah. Like I didn't even really know you very well until COVID happened. So
yeah, well, sadly, I think a lot of people wish they didn't get to know you very well, but because of COVID, they can't stop seeing my face.
That's good. So those are all great things. So
great. And looking back over the last 12 months, what are the key learnings that you think you can take from that going forward? And is there anything looking back that you think we could have done differently?
Key learnings. Yeah, I mean, like, again, going back to my point is like, to reach out and to talk to people, it doesn't always have to be in person. So I think I've learned how to like work with our marketing department and to get the word out that way, and like create other ways to like interact with people digitally. And so I think those are all fantastic ways to do it. I still love going in person and then talking to people, because that's we're humans, and that's what we like to do. We like to interact and talk and kind of catch up with our friends. And so I hope we can get back to that. But
no, yes, definitely. And what do you think, though, from an industry point of view? What do you think what do you think the industry's learnt now? Because obviously it's been at the forefront in terms of the development of the vaccine as well. So, I mean, do you think there are any key learnings the industry's taken out of that as well?
I think, again, sharing information and quickly innovating together as a group and as an industry. I think that's something that I hadn't really seen before. I think it had always been like people are very siloed and kind of did their own thing and did it kind of secret. I think now, it's all for the betterment of good, and people will help each other even if they're competitors. If we all can win in the end and all can, survive the pandemic. So I think that's getting back to my word of collaboration. I think that was really evident, and I think that will continue even beyond the pandemic.
And looking ahead to 2021, I mean, what do you see as the key trends being? Well, before I start that, what do you think the new normal is going to be? I mean, a lot of people already are in lockdown in 2021, so the normal's carried over from last year. But going further into the year, when you start getting more vaccinations hopefully done, what do you see the new normal likely to be then into the latter part of 2021 into 2022?
I think a lot of the fear will go away. But I think a lot of the practices that we have in terms of masking and staying up, physical separation, I think a lot of those things are still going to have to happen. So I think, we'll be able to like have events and like maybe see each other, but I don't think it's going to be in my view, it can be a long time before we get back to the kind of the normal that we had before. And maybe even by the end of this year, if we're lucky. So I think if we could just get rid of the fear of getting COVID, I think that would be a good first step. And I think the vaccine will help do that. But, we're still going to have to mask and even test and, think about physical separation and try to stay away from big events. So all those things are going to still have to happen. But I think we'll slowly be able to get back to where we were.
Okay. And looking again from your sector's point of view within life science, what do you see as the trends likely to be going forward into 2021?
Some trends I've seen is like because of you need to go kind of more digital. I've seen a lot of like computational methods really come to the forefront, and having computational methods like interact with the kind of traditional antibody discovery side of the business. So and that's also the companies that I've been trying to work with a lot, because it helps kind of increase the capability of what we can do. And so I see that as a big trend, seeing how computational tools and bioinformatics can help shape the industry more and help kind of speed up the process of antibody discovery. And then finally, on the back end of what we do a lot of sequencing as part of our discovery workflow. And there's been a lot of innovation in sequencing too. And we're working with a lot of companies to speed up the process of not only shortening the time to get sequences, but also the breadth and number of those sequences. So on the front end, helping us with designing libraries and innovating how we can come up with different leads based on in silico approaches. And then on the back end, trying to see if we can increase the breadth and the volume of data that we can accumulate. We're really good at the middle part, which is making the libraries and doing all the panning and screening, but we need kind of help on the edges. And so I've seen a lot of innovation that's going to be very beneficial to us on those edges that are going to help us.
Fantastic. All right. And from your point of view, what do you see as your top 3 priorities for 2021?
Well, we're running a business. So, we continue to have high value partners to help them discover antibodies as well as optimize antibodies. So those are front and center, really important to us. We do have a lot of leads coming out of our proof of concept that we've done around COVID as well as other targets. So we want to continue to push those leads forward and see if we can find a good home for some of them. And then, I think the third area is more kind of innovation and technology. Can we increase the breadth of what we can do through collaboration and acquiring other technologies through licensing to really increase the scope and offering that we have.
Right, brilliant. And finally, what message would you want to give out to everyone to start the year? It's a new year. It's always a lovely time to give out a good old message to everybody out there. So what would be the message you'd send out to all those people who work with Twist or might want to work with Twist in the future?
I always say that everything we do starts with DNA. All the various aspects of our libraries, as well as all the innovation and discovery and optimization that people do in the industry, all starts with DNA. And so Twist is a fantastic resource to help you with that. Certainly is, really important for the Twist Biopharma vertical, and certainly is very helpful for others as well throughout the industry. So, and we're really here to help others in that process. So I think, the reach of Twist will continue to grow. I think we will continue to show how we can help the industry and everything that they do. And so I think this is going to be a great year for us in terms of our ability to help others discover and optimize antibodies, as well as just provide them with all these fantastic tools and products to help them in their workflow.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Aaron. Well, thank you for taking the time out. I know it's relatively early where you are on the West Coast right now. And just so you know, this is not scripted. I've just been asking Aaron the questions off the cuff. So he's been thinking of this as he's just got up and having to answer these questions. So I appreciate taking the time, Aaron, to do that. So thank you very much. I wish you and Twist and your loved ones a fantastic, happy, healthy and successful 2021. I look forward to working with you for the rest of the year as well.
Totally.
Yeah,
maybe at the end of the year, we can actually get a real beer in person.
Yeah, well, mine will be non-alcoholic, but we can still have one. And also we can catch up and see what your thoughts were in The Expanse season 5, because you haven't caught up yet. But we can catch up and talk about that. So if you haven't watched it, people, watch The Expanse season 5. It's fantastic, as is Cobra Kai season 3.
Cobra Kai, yeah.
Fantastic. Watch that. But on that note, I just want to say thank you everybody for watching. If you want to know more about Twist Bioscience, if they do want to know more, Aaron, I'll put the links up. But where can people get more information about Twist Biopharma and Twist Bioscience?
Yeah, twistbioscience.com is a great resource. It also links to twistbiopharma.com. There's lots of another cool thing that we did this year is we had a lot of webinars. So if you ever want to watch any YouTube videos about all the things we're doing, like they're there. Like there's tons of content on the site. So if you want to learn anything more, definitely check those out.
And while I remember, obviously the new year started, we're already kicking off the conference season already, because there's some conferences that are starting next week. Are there any conferences coming up in the next few weeks that you'll be speaking at or attending?
We have antibody engineering and therapeutics well, it's traditionally in Japan, but I won't be in Japan, but that's coming up in February. So we'll have that. And then of course we'll have a lot of the other bigger meetings later in the year, but that's the next big one that's on my list.
Fantastic. Well, I'll put a link up on that on this post as well, plus the links to the other websites. So as I said just now, thank you very much, Aaron. I wish you a great year.
Great, thank you.
Everybody. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you want to know more information, check out the links above, check out the webinars, there's loads of them, and look out for more information, more videos from Twist as the years goes on. So all that stuff is says happy new year everybody. Have a fantastic, happy, safe and successful year, and as always, until next time, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.